Emil Guillermo. Emil Amok to you. Welcome to my takeout, my Emil Amok takeout. Man, here we are, Super Bowl Friday. They call it's Super Bowl week, so every day in the week, it's sort of like Holy Week if you're Catholic. So this is Super Bowl Friday. Super Bowl Saturday. The big story Super Bowl Saturday. I'm doing my show. And no one at the Super Bowl will know anything about it. But if you happen to be on Potrero Hill, you can see it live at 2:30 p.m. on Saturday at the Potrero Stage Theater. It's the scene of San Francisco Solo Flex. Solo Flex, Solo Fast. Solo Flex is a outdated, defunct piece of machinery. If Solo Flex. Anyway, my show, 69 Emil Amok, 69 Emil Amok, same backwards and forwards. It's coming your way for the last time in San Francisco, well, at least at the Solo Fest. This is the fourth performance there, 2:30 p.m. on Saturday. Check it out. Please check it out. And it's the story of our times. We're going to talk about one of the big stories today. It was revealed that early in the morning, there was the president truthing away, or was he tweeting away? Just putting out stuff on his social media site showing Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as monkeys. As monkeys. Now, I don't have to tell you about the significance of that, right? I mean, you know where we're going with that, because now it's news. I mean, it got out, people saw it. They said, oh, wait a minute, the president is putting out pictures of an African-American couple, the first African-Americans to achieve the status of president and first lady, POTUS and FLOTUS, and denigrating him in this racist way. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? The president, the perpetrator, had to take down the post. But it's indicative of what has he done today? What will he do today? Which is why my show, 69 Emil Amok, is so, well, it's the show of our times, right? Because the premise is I wake up in the morning and what has he done again? What has he done now? And it would seem fairly innocuous, maybe, although not innocuous, not when racial equality is still an issue. I mean, if it weren't an issue, everyone was treated fairly, you'd say, oh, well, it's a small thing. Oh, no. We are not done with the racial equation to make things more equitable in America. We're not done with that. Every time, Obama, of course, is, his rise to the presidency, people say, oh, we're post-racial now. We're done with it. No, we're not done. We're still at it. And isn't it funny? Trump he's really an example of post-racial. It means we are so not done with it. That's what Trump is, the antidote. If you thought that Obama was post-racial, no. Trump is post-racial because he indicates not that we're done with it, but that the need is still there. That's where we're at. So we'll talk about that a little more with my guest, Professor Daniel Phil Gonzalez, in a second. He'll be joining us. But in the meantime, I do want to tell you about my show, 69 Emil Amok. It's written and performed by me, February 7th, the last day, 2:30 p.m. If you happen to be able to see it and want to stream it, you can stream it. Go to playground.sf.org, playground-sf.org. and you can get a streaming ticket. It's free. Hey, you can even see it live in the theater on 18th Street in Potrero for free. All we ask is that you make a donation at the end. If you like the show, make a donation to the artist. Hey, that would be me. Yeah, make a donation. It's like passing the hat. It's like the Edinburgh Fringe. It's the spirit of the Fringe. Come see the show live or streamed. If you like it, Venmo me. Uh, donate to the theater. Venmo me direct, Emil Guillermo. And that's the way we do it. That's the way these things are. These projects are. So anyway, February 7th, that's this Saturday. Come check it out. Check it out live, both either in person or streamed. And if you can't see it live streamed, say, I have a friend in New York said, hey, I can't see it on Saturday at 2:30 Pacific. Oh, that's 5:30 your time. Oh, I can't see it then. But you have 3 days to see the show on that same link. All right. So check it out, 69. And like I said, it's about waking up every morning and something happened. What did he do today? And he did not do something inconsiderate today or inconsiderable. And it may have been inconsiderate, but it was considerable. They bombed another boat, or the U.S. released a video of a bombing out in the Eastern Pacific. Where exactly the Eastern Pacific is could that be near the Philippines? It was a drug boat, supposedly a drug boat. They bombed it, and there were a number of killed, which puts the number of people killed from all these bombings of boats up to, so I wrote down that now, 119 now. 119. So instead of talking about that, we're talking about this racist thing because, we're talking about the content of one's character. Isn't it funny that all the racists like to hijack Martin Luther King's phrase, oh, it's not the skin color, it's the content of one's character? Well, what is the content of one's character if you are Donald J. Trump? Let's see. E. Jean Carroll, Stormy Daniels, Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, I think we get a sense of the content of his character. Let's see, what else? CFDT 34 convicted felon Donald Trump 34 counts. Monkey posters of Michelle and Barack Obama. I think we get a sense of the content of his character. And yet, so many people out there voted for him the last time. All right. Anyway, so let's see. Let's bring up Professor Daniel Phil Gonzalez, and we're gonna do this on the fly. This is how we do it here. There he is, Professor Daniel Phil. How are you? Oh, your audio isn't working. Your audio. Oh yeah, get that audio working. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Professor
Sorry,
Daniel
man.
Phil. No problem. How are you? How are you, Dan?
We're doing okay. We're doing
Yeah.
okay. Everybody's healthy. How about you? How's the
Yeah,
family?
same here. See, everyone's healthy. I've gained a few more pounds.
Oh no.
It's yeah. I think I see it in the jowls. I think that's what it is. Or I mean, it could be that I wore a hat that pounded down my hair instead of my pre Bruno Mars perm. I'm more flat headed today, and that might explain everything. Hey, we were going to go check out Kevin Camilla at the Punchline. Did is that still is he still playing, or did you know?
No,
I I I
geez, I completely
I
forgot.
forgot about that. Anyway, Kevin, if you happen to, or his friends, let him know that we're thinking about him, thinking about it at the Punchline. Anyway, look, all right. So fast forward to today's events. I was talking about that Barack and Michelle Obama posted
Yeah.
Donald Trump. I mean, it started out small. When it got out there, I guess it was early in the morning, and then it leaked out. People saw it. Uh, Trump got pushed back from Republicans, who then, he pulled back. But by then, it was out in the news. The Democrats uh, are now fundraising on it, And so the question, Dan, is are we talking 25th Amendment time? Are we talking, is it time to consider that this man is not just unfit for the office, but there is something wrong with him psychologically?
Well,
I
I
know you're
only
probably going to say,
wish I
yeah,
only wish it were true.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I
I
only
mean,
wish it were true.
yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's on tonight.
Oh, he's on tonight. Oh my
He's on
God. Okay.
tonight. I'm
All
gonna
right.
I'm gonna
Well,
check. I'm gonna check, and I think I could talk my better half into checking it out tonight.
Well, I mean, I can't go tonight because tomorrow's my show and I'm going to be prepping. But if you go, tell him I give him the Filipino salute, whatever that is, the F's. How do you get it?
No, I don't
F's.
think you want
Yeah.
to do that. No, no, it's
Okay.
done. It's done with the thumb between the between the middle and the third finger. So yeah, not like this. See
Oh,
how the
like
thumb
that.
keeps
Oh, like
yeah.
that. Oh, that's
That's it.
Donald
That's the
Trump.
one.
That's Donald Trump in there.
Wait a minute. I've seen that delivered to unfavored politicians in the Philippines at least a couple of generations ago. That was the way they're doing the middle finger in
Yeah.
1965.
Oh, wow. Well. All right. To get back to Kevin Camilla at the Punchline tonight. If you go see him or in the audience. He's playing Friday night. And Dan, if you go see him tonight, give him my regards.
I will. I will.
Okay. All right. So Dan, about this, I mean, this thing with the racist Trump post.
No, it's not going to happen. 25th. You got to
Oh.
get, first of all, in order to pull that,
Mhm.
he's got to have the cabinet and the
Mhm.
VP all swing in that direction. And then it has to be validated, by Congress in some way. I forgot what it was. But the first requirement is it's the cabinet's got to pull it down.
Oh, so
Okay.
so
And that's not going to happen.
too many
Not gonna happen.
people are sycophants
Just
and
to
say,
me.
"Hey, however racist you want to be, Mr.
The man-
President, we're
Well,
okay."
yeah, that's the other thing. Even if they, well, how likely is it, right, that they don't agree with his depictions? Like
Yeah.
some of them, they're embarrassed by it. They're
Well,
embarrassed by it. But
they're
the dehumanization of Black people, and particularly highly successful Black people, that they have to do that. You have
Yeah.
to do that. Okay, you have to take down people that contradict, right, the basic, right, perspective that racists have always had
Yeah.
of people that they don't like. They just render them subhuman. And so
Well,
when someone
yeah.
obviously contradicts that in
Mhm.
real terms, you have to say things like, well, they got their stuff via affirmative action.
Yeah.
There's no way that he could have been a first year or second year law review student in law school. Okay.
Mhm.
There's no way because Black people just ain't that smart, man. Okay.
They're not, and that this is why exactly why the Republicans love the fact that they have Clarence Thomas in their hip pocket,
Uh,
right?
uh,
He's
okay.
there.
You know,
Maybe it's not just the hip pocket. Maybe it's the front pocket too. And maybe there's a hole
yeah,
in the
I
front
think
pocket.
they got him in the front pocket, and
Yeah.
and there's a hole in it.
Yeah. And this is the thing about Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas went to Yale, Pinpoint, Georgia, or Piney Point, something like that, Georgia. And I believe it's Georgia, not North Carolina, but he was a recipient, and he just disavows that. And
Yep.
he's typical of the guy who likes to take the elevator up and not send it back down. Not send it back. That's a line from Ramsey
Yeah.
Ramsey
Well,
Lewis. Remember?
we got one of those too. And look, but he wasn't smart enough to try and make it to the Supreme Court, and that was Ward Connerly. He was one of our own California grown that was just like that.
Oh, he's still
yeah.
look.
So-
In defense of Ward Connerly, every now and then he would show some lucidity and was very nice and gracious. And when I covered him, I we had some nice exchanges. But I cannot imagine why he took the views that he did. But
You can't imagine it? Come on,
I can
man.
imagine. I can imagine he do it. I know he did it. I can imagine he did, but I don't know why. I don't understand. I don't understand why he took those views. Except,
Why do any of these folks take those kinds of stands?
oh, sheer power, right?
Yes, they want to
Self
identify with power, and then they see
self-aggrandizement.
one side. I mean, I've seen this. I'm embarrassed to say, right, that
Mm-hmm.
I've heard. Here's one of the worst rationales I've heard from Filipinos. I'll pick
Mm-hmm.
on our own community, right?
Oh yeah, please,
It's
please,
just,
let's
if
do
you
that.
keep criticizing Republicans and you keep saying these things and you keep only supporting Democrats or liberals or centrists and you how do you expect to gain any kind of power?
Right.
If the people are in power, you have to join that power. They just say that right out in my
Yeah.
face,
Yeah. I've heard
in
that
my
too.
face.
I've heard that
Okay,
too. Yeah.
okay. I had,
And then,
I had
right.
people
They
defend
say
Marcos.
we
I
have
had
to be
people
the
defend
bad
Marcos
guys.
and say that he was a genius.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said, how
Right.
much genius does it take to do this?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
How much genius does it take to hold a gun to people's heads?
Yeah.
All right.
Power. That's it. That's
It's
Duterte
about
also. That's
power,
Duterte.
identification with power. And people are so freaking weak. They're
Well,
so victimized and vulnerable to colonial images, colonialized images, right? That they're
so
willing to accept the racist depiction of Mr. and Mrs. Obama. They're
Dan,
willing to accept that.
Dan, let me play devil's advocate here because maybe, if we want to ingratiate ourselves with the powerful,
Yes.
we have to join them.
Yes.
We have to not just join them, but we have to infiltrate. We have to like marry into them. We have to, right? We have to we have to go mestizo power. Right? We got to get in there, right? That's how we do it, right? Right? Isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is one way. See, okay, the reason these things persist is because they work.
Yeah.
It works. Okay, for many people, that's exactly how they became successful. Okay,
Well,
they're either
yeah.
born into it or they work their way into it, but they have to have the permission slip. Remember when PAL, Philippine Airlines, would
Mhm.
only put light-skinned Filipinos behind, at the
No igorots, no
at the
igorots,
counters.
no
They didn't
igorots.
want any dark people, even if they're beautiful. They didn't want dark people on there.
Yeah.
I worked for an executive producer of a television program that
Mhm.
would turn down beautiful people because they were too dark. Because they were too
Oh.
dark. Okay, I called it the PAL
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Well, so but this is the thing. I know um this is one way to go about doing it, but then the people who don't join the power, what happens to them? The people who don't infiltrate, the people who don't, become ingratiate to the man, to the power, then they're always on the outside, right? Or is
No,
that the principle? Is
no,
that
no,
no?
because
No.
even in societies that have, oh, uh, let's call it only partially
Mm-hmm.
democratic, right? Reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even in those societies, there are
Mm-hmm.
places where people who stand on actual principles, right, of justice, fairness, equality, right? Okay.
Principles,
Those kinds of principles,
principles.
every once in a while, they'll win. And sometimes they win big. Okay.
Yeah.
They win really big.
Oh, the people power, huh? The people
Yeah,
power,
but yeah,
and
well, how?
then you find
See,
out that your own.
people power was true only to the extent that they wanted to get rid of a dictator. They wanted to get rid of somebody who was perceptively evil. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. The question was, does people power represent actual democracy? Okay, does it represent actual democracy? And I always contested that. Okay, it was an opportunity, right, to engage in a more democratic society. But even while you and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
were the co-moderators of a of
Well,
of an international event that was held at San Francisco State University in
mhm.
1985,
Mm.
Okay, you and I were saying, well, Marcos is on his way out, right? And it
Yeah.
would take another year and a half, but Marcos was on his way out, and this was the second of two events held in sequence: 84, 85 at San
Mm.
Francisco State. It was called what was it called? Countdown Marcos,
I've
right?
yeah.
And it
But
was
but but all right. So, but your point is, what happened? I mean, the
well,
true leaders did not emerge, or what?
people who had been in exile in the United States
Mm.
went back to the Philippines, right? And
Mm.
they constituted most of the cabinet,
Yeah.
initially anyway,
Mm.
of Corazon Aquino's
Right.
presidency. Okay.
Right.
So all of that happened. All of that was real. The question that you and I asked, and actually the question that Phil Bronstein asked the year before,
Mm.
was, is this a lasting possibility? Will this hand holding of the left and the right in the Philippines actually continue into the future and bode, right, the
Yeah.
development of a truly democratic society? And my
It,
position was always no, it
no. Yeah.
won't do
Well,
that.
it was. Look, it was a long shot, and when you saw how unpowerful Corazon Aquino really was, you knew that the power the power seekers would be rising somewhere, from all sides, from the existing side that was now thrown out, or that were able to keep some kind of uh, some kind of standing, and then new people who were on the outs, the people who were exiled, and we ended up with what we have, which is a confused, um, democracy in the Philippines. But
What you had in the Philippines at that time was just simply a restoration. It's a coup. It was a
right,
different.
right,
You have a coup. That's just a switching of personnel. All right,
yeah,
and it's not
you're
it's
right,
not
you're
a
right.
restructuring of society.
I never thought of it as a coup because number one, the United States was also behind it, somewhat. I mean,
Sure,
well, they
but the United
allowed for
States supports coups all over the world.
right. They allowed Marcos to leave. That's how they support. They allowed him to leave, but they also allowed
They gave
for
him a safe
Aquino.
place to land.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
yeah, he
come to Hawaii.
misunderstood. He confused the consonants. He thought they
Yeah,
said Pawai, not Kawai. Okay,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'll tell you something. It is. I mean, I've never heard it described as a coup, but you're right. We just replaced the leaders, and we went through a number of bad leaders until we got to Ramos, and now we're back to the Marcoses, which is
Well,
that
and not necessarily. We shouldn't visit, the sins of the father. That
yeah.
old phrase.
Oh
We
yeah,
shouldn't
yeah.
visit that. When people ask me what do I think, and I said all he has to do is not screw up.
Yeah, he just or yeah, and which means don't get too greedy. Don't
There you
don't
go.
plunder. Don't plunder. Don't be corrupt. Keep
Well,
your
they don't
crumbs.
have to be greedy. They already
Yeah.
have it. They
They
already
already
have
have it.
it.
Yeah, they
And
already
most
have
of
it.
it was
Yeah.
never restored.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
they're not giving it
sure,
back. All right.
sure.
So look, here's the thing about the Philippines, and people should understand Philippine history more because as they understand Philippine history, you understand a little more about American history, and
Oh, absolutely,
you may understand
absolutely.
where we are now. Where
Yes.
are we now? And the good thing about the Philippines is they basically speak English, and you don't have to know Tagalog necessarily to understand what's going on. Unlike, say, you could use the Vietnam War as an example, but Vietnam came after the Philippines.
No, all you got
Came
to do is
after.
watch the news. Okay, okay. If you can get Balitang Filipino or anything like that, right? All
Oh
you got
yeah,
to do
yeah,
is watch the news, because
yeah.
what you have is a Tagalog, or Filipino
Hmm.
newscast, right? But
Hmm.
when anybody of significant authority speaks, they speak in English.
Yeah,
So hey, what does that tell you?
yeah. We're still there. Well, and it was actually, was it Imelda who wanted to make the language to get English out? So you got to, I
And
guess,
there have been a lot of people who did that, but yeah,
yeah,
that was a
it
nationalistic
was,
stance.
yeah.
There were faculty members of particularly De La Salle. There was a
Mhm.
strong, I can't remember his name at this point, but
Mhm.
there was a very strong cultural nationalist who was extremely popular
Yeah.
at De La Salle, and
Well,
in the 80s and 90s.
well,
Um,
you know,
he's our age. He's
yeah.
maybe closer to my age than yours, but
Wait, Dan, I'm much more national. I'm not Filipino. I'm Philippine American, but I'm for the sake of the Philippines.
does
I
that
want
exist? That's an oxymoron.
what?
You cannot be Filipino and American.
Oh, I'm an
Oxymoron.
American. That's why I'm an American Filipino. Excuse me. I'm an American Filipino.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
but
You're just
I'm really
That's lunacy. You're having some kind of
yeah. I'm having a
psychological break.
well, I'm brick down. Yes. No,
Break
no. Here's the
down.
thing. Here's
Yeah.
the thing. For the Philippines, I'm very nationalistic. So I wanted them to kick out the bases, and now the bases are back. I wanted them, I'm, in terms of their instinct, I'm rooting for the nationalists to win, but I don't know. The nationalists don't have the same kind of power. The nationalists want to be the middle ground guys. Like, what is Marcos a nationalist? He's kind of more like a,
Yeah. Yeah.
but he's still more tilting,
He's a
tilting toward,
pragmatist. He's a
yeah.
pragmatic nationalist. He's a pragmatic nationalist, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and look, as an American, I want to see the Philippines do their own thing. But here's what I've noticed: when the Philippines get democracy, people here in America look at the Philippines and say, "Oh, they're not doing it right. They're screwing." No, the Filipinos are doing democracy their way. It just didn't look like our way, right? And so
Yeah.
it is what, as they say, it is what it is because it's the Filipinos in control, and
Well,
so it may.
but see, one of the most critical points, one of the reasons that Marcos doesn't look bad, right,
Mhm, mhm.
is in comparison to the previous guy,
Oh yeah,
is
Duterte.
who is awaiting trial, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
say,
but you
hey,
know what? You know who looks more like Duterte than Marcos? Donald Trump.
oh no, don't say that.
Donald,
Don't
well,
say that. Are you
Donald,
crazy?
Donald
Don't
Trump.
say that. How
Donald,
dare you make such a comparison? Well, wait, look
well,
at Duterte. Duterte was allowing people in government guise, right, to commit assassinations.
oh
That's what
well,
he was doing.
well.
People
I
were
mean,
being killed extrajudicial.
extrajudicial.
They didn't
Oh,
get
sorry,
any
sorry.
due process. They
Oh,
didn't
sorry,
get due process. They're
sorry.
being imprisoned without due process.
All right,
They're being
Duterte was better.
disappeared.
Duterte was better than this guy because he did it. But what I'm saying though, is that,
How dare you
uh,
make those comparisons?
well, I mean, they sunk another boat. The U.S. sunk another boat in the Eastern Pacific today. 119 people killed now in
Yeah,
these
the Eastern Pacific
extrajudicial
means
bombings.
it means the coast of the Americas, off the coast of the Americas. That's what Eastern Pacific means. Okay,
Is that what Eastern Pacific off the
that's
coast of the
what it
America?
means. That's
Oh,
what
it's
it means.
well, but still,
They
it's
don't. They
extra.
don't I don't know why they want to say Eastern Pacific. Why don't they just say the coast of the Americas, right?
Look, but it's definitely a Duterte mo, right? There's a boat. It could have drugs. Let's bomb it. You
Well,
know.
actually, Marcos did that. Senior did that. I
Well,
mean,
oh
that
yeah,
was
yeah. Marcos
he
Senior
also
did
did.
it.
He
I
also
just
fought crime. I
yeah,
mean,
but
the reason
Marcos
that he gained office was anti-corruption.
yeah, but
That was
Marcos Senior is so like I heard a newscaster say, "Oh, we're talking about olden times 4 years ago." So
yeah.
if you're talking about if olden times are 4 years ago, Marcos is prehistoric. Marcos Senior is so
Oh,
and Duterte is barely modern. He's barely
uh,
modern. And
well,
so
you
anyway,
got
all right. So we're not gonna look, Dan. We're not gonna
yeah.
have the
Let's not
25th
get
Amendment.
we way hung up in that. How much time did we spend talking about that stuff, man? That was
Hey,
just too long.
hey, look, we're not gonna have the 25th Amendment to get rid of Trump, but this is a major embarrassment, and I think it's similar to what was going on. Remember September 2024, and a comedian at a New York rally said Puerto Rico was trash, and we thought, oh, there goes the Latino vote. Uh, Trump doesn't have to worry about the black vote, but he has to worry about appearing racist. So what I think we're going to see during Black History Month, maybe more Trump, eating soul food, maybe eating Trump eating ribs and enjoying it, saying, "Hey, look, I'm helping. I'm going to get to my heart attack fast."
Uh-oh.
Oh, we have to. Oh, well, we lost Professor Dan, but he'll come back, I'm sure, because I mentioned food, and the mere mention of it should attract him. Although I don't see him on my screen. I don't see him yet. Well, a spirited discussion on the Philippines, and we I do want to talk more about the Philippines because this Epstein thing is a global thing. It's a global thing, and I started talking about it uh, when I noticed the the Filipino names. Let's see. Oh, there he is. No, that's not him. He's blank. I don't see it, Dan.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I don't
here.
see.
I'm here
I, it,
somewhere.
it's you're
Can you
you,
hear me?
well, you're black. Is that for Black History Month?
Can you hear Can you hear me? I don't mind being
I
black.
I I, I can hear you, but like I said, your camera's off.
All right, let me reset that.
Camera's off.
I'll go physically over there.
Yeah, it's black, and
Okay, but you can
I
hear
don't.
me. I can see my mic. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. All right. Well, see, that people understand these things, or when you do these sort of shows, that they'll say, "Oh, what is Emil doing here? Can't they get it together? Oh, there must be a Filipino thing. Must be an American Filipino thing. No, if only he like buddied up with people with more money, then he. Oh yeah, this show would go off without a hitch. But no, no. Here's one of the things I was talking about Epstein. Oh, Dan's not there yet.
Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out and then come back.
Okay, go out and come back in. All right, all right. He's gonna. We're talking about Epstein. This is some of the fallout from Epstein, the Epstein files, that big um, dump. Now 3,000 documents. I did my story, and I found all these Filipino names in there, and the Filipino names weren't the victims. They weren't fellow perps like Epstein. Looking well, at least the ones I found, they weren't. They weren't people trying to, insiders, but they were people who wanted to work for Epstein. Not his masseuses. They wanted to work with Epstein or for Epstein as his help. He was their help. And what you have to see in this, the findings that, you could look in the Epstein files and you could see, you get any documentation to fill out a thesis, right? They're 3 million. They're 3 million documents. But I think what the Epstein files proves when you see them is it's not just how the elite treat, have their playthings, and they debauch and are immoral in that sexual way, but you see how they treat other people just normally, how they treat the help. First of all, they need people to work for them, right? So who do they hit on? Who do they call on? Who do they legally traffic in these people who are willing to be essentially their paid servants? And who would those people be? Not normally white Americans, right? I mean, you're not going to see white Americans doing that. You're not going to see, like, well, I don't know what the status is of the people who are considered head of the households, but the heads of the households in New York that I saw were Filipino couple. And the people who signed up or wanted to be workers for Epstein were all Filipinos who went through a service, went through a an agency to get jobs, and this has always been a thing in the Filipino community to go um, from the Philippines, and there's no work in the Philippines. So you want dollars, or you want to get paid more, you want to get paid more what you're worth, then you sign up with these agencies and you go to Saudi Arabia, you go to the Middle East, you go to Israel. I mean, that that kibbutz that was bombed on October 7th, a number of Philippine caretakers were in that story. One of the hostages, a couple of the hostages were Filipino. So far flung, our image, the Filipino image, is that of the caretaker, the service worker. And that's how we show up in the Epstein files. I felt a little bad about that, but that's a fact. I pointed it out and I said, here's the problem. And let me see if Dan's up. Dan, are you there? Yep. Dan, are you there? Nope, not there. Okay, so the real problem with the Epstein files was that their names weren't redacted. Now, maybe they're invisible, maybe they don't matter, and maybe that's the recognition. The fact that their names aren't redacted is a recognition of that. Who cares? Who cares if they're redacted or not? But these are real people with real lives in the real world, and if you're in the Epstein files, it can't be good for your life. You might as well say, "Yeah, I was." This is guilt by association in some ways, but it's having an effect far and wide in the halls of power, in halls of industry, big finance. The longtime chair of the elite firm, Paul Weiss. I have a friend who's on that board, and he knows this is happening. Brad Karp resigned after email showed he just socialized with Epstein and sought career help for his son. This is the bad guy network. You know, he lost his job as the chair of Paul Weiss. That says how much being in the Epstein. You might as well say, look, Sodom and Gomorrah, I went beyond. I was in bed with the devil. I was in bed with Satan himself. There I was. Hurrah for me, right? I asked the guest I'm trying to get back on, but he seems to have an internet problem. A couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when the Epstein story broke, I asked, oh, there he is. So Dan, we're talking about the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And remember when I asked you, I said, should you be, if you were in the Epstein files, how would you feel if you were in the Epstein files? Remember I asked you that?
Yeah.
And
I can't remember what I said.
Well, basically, look, was it a good thing or a bad thing to be in the Epstein files? Something wrong.
Generally,
wrong with
it would be good. It would be bad.
Yeah.
Generally.
What happened to your? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it would be bad. I said my name is in the Epstein files. Oh shoot, I joked. Oh, I really wanted to be in there, and then you said no. I wouldn't want my name to be there.
Okay.
And that was about a month ago. You mentioned that, and
my memory doesn't go back that far.
Yeah, well, and then the fallout
your
now.
Name is. Okay.
No, my name is in the Epstein files. No.
Okay.
No. The fallout now is that people like Bill Gates, right? He's in the Epstein files, right? and there's a rumor about how, something involving a French or a Russian girl and the need for some kind of medicine, uh, because of something gained from the Russian girl that was
Yeah,
not.
the word is yeah, additional baggage. Yeah.
Yeah, I think is that how the word, the abbreviation STD works out? I
Yeah,
don't
there
know.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then Elon Musk is in there after he said, "Oh, I had nothing to do with
I
Epstein,"
think
and
it's
now he does.
something
Or
to do with his dong. I think that's
yeah,
what STD stands for.
STD. So yeah,
Something to do
to
with
do
his tongue.
with
Yeah.
his dumb. And then Brad Karp. Brad Karp. Now big law firms. Paul
Oh
Weiss,
yeah,
big
big
law
law
firm.
firm. Didn't he
I have
resign? He resigned. He
He
resigned.
resigned
Yeah.
because the email showed he socialized with Epstein and sought career help for his son. Now, I, not to brag, but I have a friend, who is I partner in Paul Weiss, right? Now, if they found an email from me to him, oh my God,
uh,
he would be asked to pay money to the.
no.
I
The
didn't.
reason I'm laughing so hard is from among all my journalist friends. You guys, the Filipinos, are really the cleanest. I mean, they tend to be really squeaky clean. You guys don't want to do gross, humor like professors do.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we're very.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying prim either, but you try to avoid that stuff, and then that's understandable. We tend to get away with a lot more than people think, right,
Yeah,
Professor?
well, what in the academic world, but not anymore. Now there's like Monders now everywhere. They got,
Sure,
I
sure.
mean, when I was briefly an adjunct, oh my God, it was, yeah, you got to watch out what you say.
Oh yeah.
You got to watch out what you say, and if you say something now, I can't. I just, the term academic freedom, not so
Oh,
free.
I was getting criticized. I got criticized by an African American student in one of my classes, one of the last classes, for using the word Negro. And I said I was quoting Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
he didn't have a response for that. But he said, no, no, the term Negro is just as bad as the other N word. And I said,
mhm,
wow, really? I said, where are
wow.
you getting this? Where are you? Who wrote up this standard, right? Of what?
Kanye West told me. Kanye West told me that. Yay, yay, yay told me that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's not
That's
Negro. He's not Negro.
no, no, no. I don't, yeah, but is he black? Is he
Hey,
black?
yeah, 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 he is. Yeah, he is. Hey, so this whole Epstein thing, my column in the Inquirer.net where I talk about
I
how.
liked it. It was really good.
Well, thank you. Well,
Really
the
great,
Phil,
great. Well, it's about invisibility, right?
yeah,
And yeah, and inferiority, interiorization, and colonial effect, right? It's all
yeah.
wrapped in there. I mean, you didn't use the words colonial or neocolonialism, but
Well,
nonetheless, that's an
I,
effect. I mean,
I
those things are an effect of the colonial experience.
Well, in the old days, and I'm talking about when I wrote my column 26 years ago, I
Mm,
used the phrase CM for colonial mentality.
sure.
And then I stopped using it because, I had to let the academics catch up to teach the students, the young ethnic studies students, about colonial mentality. And
Good.
it took a generation.
Nah,
It took a
Juanita
gener.
Tamayo. Okay, one of the few things that Juanita Tamayo lot can legitimately claim, right,
Yeah.
is that she wrote a really early article about colonial mentality. I mean, we're talking about 69, 70.
69. Well, I'm just saying that it didn't really hit, on a mass level. Now it seems I have white people coming up to me saying, "Well, the colonial idea," and they'll mention colonialism like, "Oh yeah, I just read it in a book, and I know it's bad." And sorry, I'm so colonial toward you. I mean, they when it's now more popular than I see more people mentioning it now, and it has to be because I think it's just more broadly known. The history and
Sure.
the analysis, the perspective, the anti-colonial perspective is now more
One
seen
one of the
as.
most celebrated academics
Mhm.
on the subject of colonialism, neocolonialism, and colonial mentality is actually our colleague at the University of Alaska at Anchorage,
Oh yeah,
EJR David.
yeah.
EJ is recognized universally. I'm not just saying within the Filipino context, right?
No,
But
I know, I know.
there's two psychologists that are really well known in a more general sense among, in the field of psychology, and particularly inter and ethnic and interracial psychology. And that
Yeah, it's
EJR
true.
David is one of those guys, and then the other one is Kevin Nadal.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know, and uh, I and they're younger guys. They're in their 40s, right?
Yeah, yeah, somewhere
40,
around there.
and
They're
it's
a
just.
full generation younger than me.
And that was my only point, that it takes a while before these ideas become more popularized or more accepted. And now, like I said, you have all these 20-year-olds and all these other white folks saying, oh yeah, and colonialism, this, it's so mentioned now.
Mhm.
When we were growing up and you were kids, high school, when you said, oh yeah, my father was colonized, they would say, "What?" I mean, they would be thinking about, "Oh, you mean Concord and Lexington, the shot heard around the world?" That kind of that kind of no, well,
Right, right.
similar, but they were white. And these are the Filipino
Y- y-
guys.
your
These are the
dad
Filipino.
landed from the Mayflower.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
no, but just that those are the those are the no, my
yeah,
dad's
mine did the Mayflower Hotel.
Maybe, yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
but no, my dad's boat was the Franklin Pierce,
Okay.
and here's the thing about Franklin Pierce. All this stuff about, oh, we're going to take Greenland, or we're going to take,
One of those
we're going
unknown presidents, right?
yeah, Franklin Pierce. All those streets in the Western Addition, Franklin,
Yeah, that's right.
Buchanan,
That's right.
all the bad presidents. San Francisco has streets named after. So Pierce, Millard Fillmore, Pierce, he wanted to take Cuba
Yeah,
and make it a slave state.
yeah,
That was his thing. He wasn't interested in drugs and spices or anything. He said, let's make Cuba into a slave state. And right now, that is something capable of Trump. Don't tell him that Franklin Pierce did that, because they'll say,
yeah.
oh,
Well, the funny thing is that he wanted to do that after they had already had a slave rebellion in Cuba.
yeah. Well, here's also the thing.
That probably wouldn't have worked out real well.
Well, this whole thing of the Monroe Doctrine, they
Oh
call
yeah,
it the Donroe Doctrine.
sure. Oh
And I
God.
think they call it Donroe because, Donald Trump, when he first heard the Monroe Doctrine, he thought it was about Marilyn Monroe. He thought it was the Marilyn Monroe Doctrine. He says, well, Some Like It Hot is really nice, but it really features Tony Curtis a little too much in a dress.
Oh, oh boy.
Donroe. That's why it's Donroe.
Okay.
Or in honor of Black History, the Cornrow Doctrine.
You know, okay.
Donald Trump and cornrows.
You could
That's his
know,
penance.
you
That's
could
his
be
penance.
using this. You should have saved that one for tomorrow night, man. But it's cool. It's whatever.
No,
People
that
work
is
on that.
that is penance. That is penance for Trump to come out in cornrows for February.
Oh
I'm
man.
sorry. I'm having my Trump rose. My Trump rose.
But you know what's the funnier thing was to hear Carolyn Levitt come out
Oh yeah.
with an explanation. First
Oh
of
yeah.
all, that stuff it was a staffer who did that, and it's been taken down. It was a staffer who did that, right? Okay.
No,
So
did
the hell what?
But did you hear? This is what she said. This is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king
That's
of the
right.
jungle, and, and,
From the
and
Lion
Democrats,
King. It was from the Lion King.
characters of the Lion King. That's worse. That is worse.
There is
That-
no There is no ape character in the Lion King. That's first of all. Okay, but she just was spelling it wrong. She meant lion, Lyin.
Oh, lion.
That makes sense. The
He's
Lion King.
he's the
Yes,
Lion
and
King. Lion King.
absolutely. That is
Oh, yeah.
absolutely logical.
Lion.
Okay.
Yeah, Lion. I like that Lion King, and then they can go to the Filipino restaurant and get lying.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if they
I
do
went there.
that. That's
That's
kind
good.
of
I like
required.
bowl of lying, please, and
Yeah.
lying. I want some lying.
Well, it is. It is probably vegan, huh? It probably is vegan.
If you don't put coconut milk.
Oh, yeah, coconut milk is not is
Well, all right. Sorry, coconut milk would be vegan because it's not animal. However,
yeah,
lots of fat in that coconut milk.
sure, sure.
So
But
we
is it
say,
good fat or bad fat? I mean,
well,
avocado's got
I
a lot
don't
of fat
know.
too, but that's good fat.
I don't know. Good fat is Donald Trump good fat or bad fat?
No, man. What is a Sunday merienda without
Without
avocado and coconut milk, man?
oh, avocado good fat. Coconut milk, maybe not. Yeah, hey, I have an avocado tree. I have
You do?
yeah.
Does it bear fruit?
Yes, it didn't for a long time. It takes a
No, it
long
takes a
time.
long time. It
Takes a,
does.
and finally, now it's like having sex all the time. I love it. It's, before it was like a 10-year-old boy saying, "Okay, not doing anything, Dad," and then now it's just coming out. We got got
Well, you
lemons
got
and
to share,
avocado.
man. You got to share.
All right, next time I
bring
see
some.
you, if you
Bring
if
some
you
for tomorrow. Bring some
you
for
come,
tomorrow. You got any now? Bring them for
if you
tomorrow.
come to my show,
Bring
show
it tomorrow.
tomorrow.
You better
And
have them tomorrow, man.
2:30, I'll be there, and I'll
Yeah.
have a couple.
All right,
Yeah,
you heard it.
sadly,
It's all over the net now, man.
yeah,
I mean,
we got avocado, and we got the good kind, not the bumpy kind. No,
sure. The
the
smooth
bumpy
one.
kind.
You got the smooth one.
Yeah, the bumpy kind that looks like you have like venereal warts. Those kind. I don't know. I just know from reading.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. They got a pill for that. They got a pill for that. You don't have to take an injection anymore. Just I think it's a 10-day regimen. Morning, afternoon, and then for 10 days.
It's bumpy, like a toad,
Yeah. No,
bumpy like a toad.
Yeah,
But no, I get the smooth kind, the smooth kind.
cool.
And then you can even eat the skin if you're like really greedy and say, "What the hell? I can eat the skin." I mean, you can eat avocado skin, all the good stuff. It's just like all the good stuff's in the lemon peel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
all right, getting back to the Filipino workers. So I did a big thing, and my problem is they did not redact the names of the Filipino workers. Like, what? The
Yeah.
hell? We don't have to, and I think they should have, because those Filipino workers they're gonna catch them. And one guy ran the yachts for rich people in Beverly Hills, and another woman they're all kind of nurse caretaker. They weren't masseuses, but they were.
Just in case people want to check out that website, because it is you have to know what you're doing to navigate that website.
Oh yeah.
And so how were you able to isolate those names?
The Philippine.
Okay.
I went to the website, and I took a little anchovy paste and put it in the computer. And in the morning, there they were. All the Filipinos were there.
Okay, so it wasn't the shrimp paste. It was the anchovy paste.
Alamang.
No, alamang is the shrimp paste.
Oh, it's shrimp paste. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I put it out there, and they
You got to
went
get
through
your
the bodies.
bagoong. You got to get your bagoong straight, man.
Yeah, you got to get your. They're all various types of bagoong.
That's right.
Now the Filipinos have made it when they open up a bagoong bar.
Okay.
And they serve all the different types of bagoong here. Bring your own tomates.
Well, that's like taking the freeway down from the Canyon Roadway, right? Taking that down from Baguio. When you hit Pangasinan, right? You get all those bagoong joints, man.
Yeah.
Bagoong and vinegar, all different.
Oh yeah,
types.
bagoong and vinegar. Yeah, the vinegar. Oh well. We got more Filipino.
Now you're making me salivate. No, geez. Now I have to order Filipino food in today.
Yeah, I know. All right, so now, but if you come tomorrow at 2:30 at the Petro stage, I will have the avocados. I'll have
All
the
right,
avocado. All
there,
right,
there it is. We
all
have
right,
to
there it
recover
is.
from Kevin's show, and then we'll
Yeah.
come in.
All right. Now, hey, did you know that Usha Vance? I heard is pregnant. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I heard
was
she's
it
pregnant.
you?
No, no, it was not me. That was
Oh,
not me.
okay.
No. But because, yeah, no, it was not me. But they are the
We'll have to
Vances
see what
are
that baby looks like, man.
yeah, brown. The Vances are in Milan
Yeah, that's
apparently,
right.
and they're
They're
watching the
doing
figure
the
skaters.
Olympics. Yep.
So the Olympics are on. Are you excited?
Well, there's a Pinay,
Yes, yeah, I
doing
heard.
the
Yeah,
slalom. She's doing the giant slalom
yeah,
and the slalom.
yeah.
That's
So
those are the two fastest courses, man. I mean, you don't want to slip and slide.
now is she's Filipino from the Philippines, or is she an
No,
American
she's from
over?
Utah.
Oh
She's from
yeah.
Utah. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw her name, and this is sort of like, remember we had an old friend who worked for Oracle and tried to do the luge. Remember him?
Yeah, he DNF'd. He
DNA, yeah,
DNF
did not.
did not
Yeah,
finish.
yeah. But he was like an Oracle dude.
He was
Made
a
a lot of
lawyer.
money.
He was the head litigant. He
Yeah,
was the lawyer.
and then
It was
he
contracts and litigation.
yeah, and then he did the luge and made a big deal for on behalf of the Philippines.
That's right.
And I guess that would must have been about 40 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
Ray Ocampo,
That's
right?
right on there.
Is
There you go.
is he still around? I think he's.
I don't know. I don't know if he
You
is or
know,
not.
see, it's
Oh,
just, sometimes you can make so much money that who cares about life? You just do your life. That's what we're doing now. That's what we're doing. Anyway, so all right, here's what I'm stuck on. Remember Eileen Gu, the
yeah.
Chinese American who did her snowboarding for China. Good snowboardist, but she makes more money.
Well, what happened?
She's still there. You still hear me? Oh, we're I guess we're having another technical difficulty. Oh yeah, Dan, you froze. Let's see. Let's pop you out and pop you back in. No. Oh well. Oh, here you're joined again. Okay, so I don't know what happened there. We're having all these little hiccups.
Yeah,
Anyway, Eileen Gu is making like millions, like 20 something $1 million from endorsements and modeling and that kind of stuff. And but so she's a good capitalist, but not like an American capitalist. She's a good Chinese capitalist because she she's an American who is doing her snowboarding at the Olympics for China. There used to be some outrage over that 4 years ago. I guess there isn't now. No one cares. Are we one world? Is that it?
yeah.
So why are our missiles pointing at them and their missiles pointing at us?
Yeah.
I mean,
They're not gonna hold it against her. I don't know.
to me,
That's
it's
not
just,
that big a deal. How do you feel about it?
I feel the same way as I did 4 years ago. Why isn't she? No, look, the whole idea about the Olympics is to be nationalistic and patriotic, and we're on the same team. And here's a woman born in America, lives in San Francisco, making millions of dollars, good capitalist for the Chinese. And she'll probably win some goals for the Chinese. And, that just, I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way. Now, if she could rub me the right way, it might make a difference. But, but I just feel bad about that. I just feel, So all you conservatives think, oh, Emil's so liberal. No, I'm not.
No. I agree with you. It does bother me.
Yeah.
You know,
And why isn't she an American? Why isn't she we're on the same team. We're on the same team.
that's cool. Yeah, she can. She can. If she identifies with China, that's fine. I know a lot of people who identify with China. I have students that have left the United States, and we're all excited about joining the continuing revolution in China.
Yeah. Yeah, well, look, if that's her choice, great, but then she should live there year round, all the time.
Well, the people that did that though are they were doing it because they believe in the revolution. They believe in
Yeah.
the socialist concept, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
obviously, Eileen Gu is a very successful uh,
Capitalist.
person. Yes, so
Selling, and what is she selling? She's selling images of her body,
okay,
which
yeah.
I guess that's better than selling actual parts of her body.
Oh, oh,
Well,
whoa! There we
I mean,
go.
oh, come
Uh,
on, you're the academic. You can say you're
yeah,
free to say
yeah.
anything.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying, better than selling
Well, there was a
images.
couple of things because there was that stupid statement made by somebody that's in the Epstein files about eating, parts.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty gross. You know.
Well, I just think that, see, here's the thing about the Epstein files: 3 million documents, and you can have anything to
Yeah,
prove
but there's
anything.
another 3 million that they're holding out, and
Oh,
that's by their count. How do
right.
we know?
Oh,
How do we know what the count is in real terms, right?
right. And we don't even know what's really relevant to the cases, right?
That's
Like
right.
some of the things are like fake, some of the things are like put in, they just found them. Epstein made up some kind of fake document and stuck it in there. So
Well,
we don't even know if the Bill Gates needing some kind of medicine because of a visit with a Russian woman. We don't even know if that's real.
right.
We don't even know.
Well, no. What you have to do is you got to find out who the Filipinos are, what their jobs were, right? And so
Well,
if they're going
now,
to mention you and they're not going to redact you, if I were in those files,
mm,
okay, I
mm,
would come right out and I would say, here's what my experience was.
yeah. Well,
This was
look,
this was my connection. Here's what my experience was. I can testify about these issues having to do with these people.
yeah,
Well,
but wait a minute.
well,
Those they're not implicated in any crime. So I guess the
but
Justice
they might
Department
be
could say,
witnesses. They might be witnesses
well,
who
that's the thing.
observed
We don't
crimes.
know, and the thing is, they probably don't know enough to want to make them, principal witnesses, so that you hire their boss. Their boss actually, the guy who was, the head of the management of the households, he was deposed, and his deposition is in the files. But the Filipinos who ran the New York, mansion, they were not deposed, but there are all these little messages about, oh, Mr. Epstein's going to pay for your trip back home to see your mother, your sick mother, or to pay for your funeral. So there are things like that.
Yep.
And, so they weren't implicated, but still, it's personal stuff. It's not relevant. Why are they dragged into this? It's because no one sees them. They're Filipino. Who cares? But if you're Filipino, you care because it's a human dignity question, right?
Yeah, but Filipinos are also very loyal.
Yeah.
Filipinos in those positions are very loyal.
Of
All you got to do is
of
look at Trump's
course.
relationship to you know who.
Man, I'll tell you though, this thing persists to this day. That's what this thing shows. That if service workers, my dad came on a boat, and it's my dad's birthday on February 8th on Sunday. So I have a little special tribute to dad. My dad had other people on the boat who were not like him, and in some ways more fortunate or less fortunate, because they are brought over by households to be the houseboy. They're brought over to work in a home in, a rich place in the peninsula, a private home. And my dad was just like, it was his choice. Do I go to the fields? Do I stay in San Francisco? Work, try to work the restaurants, and which is what he did. But there are guys who they were brought in to work for a family, a white family, and and to this day, I know Filipino families who work for white families, whole families in Pacific Heights. And one time I saw them, and it was like I wanted to like get to know them, or I wanted to talk to them. I had a friend of mine had Filipino help, right? And I felt closer to the help than I did to my friend. I mean, that's the weird thing.
How did they feel?
They said, "Shut up, Emil! Don't blow it for us. Don't blow it for us. You're blowing our cover." You know, really,
Wow.
it was
Okay.
like, Okay, yeah, all right. I don't know. I hadn't heard from them, or I haven't seen. I haven't talked to my friend in 4 or 5 years, but that was really revealing. I felt more comfortable with the help,
Okay, you know,
and the help
I
didn't feel
represented
comfortable with me.
when I was working. I was doing asylum cases for a short period of time, and I was not representing them, but I was an expert witness
Mhm,
testifying for them or
mhm.
for circumstances, describing circumstances in the Philippines that affected their lives there, so that it was clear that their lives were in jeopardy if they were forced to return to the Philippines. Those were the kind of cases that I was helping on, and yeah, I identified with them very closely, and actually, in a couple of instances, the people who had brought them here to the United States were extremely well known,
Yeah.
and some of the wealthiest two families were the wealthiest families, not in the Philippines. They were the wealthiest families in Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
and they were former employers that would not come forward, right, to help them gain asylum. That
Ugh.
that
Yeah.
you want to talk about ugly?
Yeah.
That's the reason that I stopped doing the work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing. Oh, well, this is the thing and it's not about people are white or brown or whatever. It's people have wealth and power.
There you go. And they also render their own people invisible.
Well, that
They're,
thought
they're,
crossed
they're
my mind too.
what I'm saying is, there's no, you just said it, white or brown, they treat the lower classes the same way. It's
Yeah.
about class,
Yeah.
class
There's a
identity.
there's a great review in the New Yorker this week featuring one of the critics who went to Sundance and they saw the movie Filipiniana, which
Mm,
is about a resort in the Philippines and how people cater to the tourists, mostly from China, but how people how the help deal with each other based on class, and it's about the Philippines, and it's a really enticing write up that makes you want to see this movie. I hope it comes out. Filipiniana, a made in the Philippines movie by a director that the New Yorker really just raves about. It was at Sundance this last couple of weeks. I was interested in a couple of films in Sundance, two documentaries, one on Maria Bamford and one on um, primate animal experimentation. But they wrote about this one called Filipiniana. Anyway, I hope it comes out. I love to see it. World cinema is what it proclaimed in this critique. For I think the guy's name is his last name is Manuel, the director. So anyway, all right. So Dan, one thing we haven't mentioned. Oh, Dan, you went. Oh no, there you go. Okay, Dan. One thing we haven't mentioned before we go. It's Super Bowl week.
oh, that. God,
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
mean,
tired of
I
this stuff. I'm so tired of, sometimes I just want to get straight news, and
yeah.
everything's about what's happening in the Super Bowl.
Well, but the Super Bowl. All right, before we get to the Super Bowl, there is a serious story that is getting a lot of mention. That's the Nancy Guthrie story.
Yes.
The kid. I'm saddened by it. I don't know what we can do except watch. And now and yes, my heart goes out to
Savannah
Savannah
Guthrie.
Guthrie and her family. But man, they do the thing about celebrity kidnappings, and they show Frank Sinatra Jr. and they show the Gettys, and
Yeah.
it's sad because I don't even know if really I don't know how much money Savannah Guthrie has, but if she's been making 15 million a year for the last 10 years, she's probably doing okay, you know. And someone on the inside would rather play with her than with a billionaire because 15 million, however much money Savannah Guthrie has, is nothing compared to the really wealthy in America. Unfortunately, Savannah Guthrie is comfortably upper middle class in some circles, right? I mean,
Hmm.
it's not
Yeah,
she's not a
she's
billionaire,
not among
but she's got
the hundreds of billionaires that live in the United States. Yeah.
yeah, she's got fame and she's got some wealth, but in terms of the really super wealth, now she's not Jeff Bezos, thank goodness.
Right.
Who boy, we should mention how what a villain he's become by dumping the
Yeah,
Washington
Wall Street. I mean, yeah, Washington
Washington
Post.
Post.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dump my subscription.
I
I
did
should have
too. I
already.
did.
Yeah, I should have already, but
Unfortunately, it just automatically renewed. You know,
yeah,
but I dumped it anyway.
yeah. I got to dump it, but yeah, Jeff Bezos. Those are the
You
really
know what?
wealthy.
When you dump it, they ask you why,
Yeah,
and I
I
gave them
tell.
I gave them an essay.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's no, there's the multiple reasons why. Anyway, Savannah Guthrie is practically just upper middle class compared to the super wealthy, and I'm sorry she's going through this, but but just think
Yeah,
of the
I'm really worried. I'm really worried. It's kind of interesting because I hope it's just not local criminals. I hope it's organized crime, people who have done it on a regular basis, right, and have
mm,
successfully performed the exchanges and gotten their money, because
yeah.
that is the likelihood, the greatest likelihood that she's safe.
Right.
If it's
We want
organized.
professional. We want
We want
professional
real
criminals.
professionals. We don't want local amateurs, man.
Yeah. No rookies, please.
No rookies.
Please let
Got to
it
be
be a
real.
real professional bad
No,
guy.
I don't want to make fun of it, but that's the reality.
Yeah.
It's
It's sad. I don't know but it's almost this is reality TV, right? This is like a real life drama. It's not something made up from a writer's head.
but the problem is it's in this context that's already disgusting. So,
Yeah.
even though this would be a much more felt event if it wasn't in this context of insanity,
Yeah.
all of the political and social lunacy going on, caused essentially by one guy. All
Yeah.
right, and then everybody following in line. That's it.
Well, the thing is the normalcy of that lunacy, right? It's like well, it's totally normal for a president to write a racist tweet. It's totally normal for bombs to blow up drug boats. It's totally normal to say we're going to take Greenland. Oh, we're not going to take Greenland. Oh, we're going to take Greenland.
Yeah,
Be,
you remember when you raised the Venezuela and Greenland thing, and I said, "Look,
yeah,
dude, you can't get distracted by BS. That's not the real stuff, right?
yeah,
We
yeah.
can't be doing that." And
That
then you
is the
said, "But
real
it's
stuff.
important." You said it's important. I said it's important only because it's part of a plan to distract us from stuff that really matters.
Yeah.
Even the Epstein issue isn't as important of the stuff as the stuff that really matters.
Wait a minute. No, the Epstein issue is the issue. Everything else a distraction of that.
No.
Epstein is the sun, and the solar system goes around
Uh, no,
Epstein.
the issue is the destruction of democracy. That's the
Oh,
issue.
that's important too. That's important too. But the destruction of our moral values, the destruction of that. Okay, all right, all right.
Yeah,
It's
there
our
you go.
democracy.
Now we're at
Well,
the core. Now we're at the core.
well,
When you have
as
a
Jeff.
democracy that lacks moral uh, and ethical justification,
Yeah.
is that possible? Can you have an amoral,
Yes, yes,
right,
yes, yes, yes,
irreligious democracy? Okay,
yes, yes.
that's the
Well,
question.
it's like Jeff Bezos says, when democracy dies in darkness, and here it is in broad daylight. It's dying. It's dying.
It's broad daylight, man.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. It's
It's
broad
shriveling
daylight.
up. It's
Yeah.
shriveling up like Dracula in an old movie.
So, all right. So, on that note, one last thing on the Super Bowl. It's in San Francisco. It's in our hometown, and it's ironic that they're playing
Santa Clara,
like,
they're
yeah,
gonna pee all over you, man, for saying that.
yeah.
It's in
Well,
Santa Clara, but it's
I
close.
know they're playing 50 miles away, and it's not the same when you see the anchors on by the ferry building there.
That's
It's like,
right.
oh, here we are,
Yeah, that's
and
right. That's right.
oh, we got to catch it. We got to catch a.
Yeah,
We got to beat the
well, it's
traffic
because
to get to the game.
San Jose. I mean, I love San Jose, love the people of San Jose, and all the rest of that stuff. But it ain't, it doesn't have the scenic qualities
Well,
of,
well,
of San
well, wait a
Francisco. So,
minute. Wait a minute. Los Altos Hills.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
hey,
yeah. It's a bunch
Santana
of really nice
Row.
houses and green shit. I mean,
No one is ready to cop to San Jose is really
what's
cool.
great about the Los Altos Hills is it's got a bunch of wineries, right?
Yeah,
And they
but
got a great view of the valley.
yeah, but here's the thing: no one is ready to cop to this idea that oh, San Jose is really cool. See,
Yeah.
they don't want to do that because it's not. It's
San,
not. And
San
look,
Jose is like LA Junior.
yeah, it's not even L.A. Junior. It's more like Torrance, maybe, or
Oh, that hurts.
Torrance. No. Look, San Jose. It's like Long Beach. Long Beach.
Well,
No.
but where's it? Yeah, does it have a shoreline? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, the thing
it's
about
got
look,
marsh. It's got
I
marsh.
know I know this stuff because I worked when I worked at Cron
Yeah,
back in the old days.
that really
I
was
did.
the old days.
Yeah, it was. I did work in the San Jose bureau as well, so I got to know San Jose really well. I got to know San
So
Francisco really
you
well.
worked out of the 10th floor office, the
I
10th floor
worked
office.
I worked out of Plateau 7.
Yeah.
Remember that
Oh,
old Plateau 7 restaurant?
sure, sure.
And I guess 7th floor was Plateau 7. We
Yeah,
had the top. And
yeah,
they since moved, but we were in that top floor. And San Jose was
yeah.
okay.
You were right in the landing zone. I mean, the planes would
Yes,
come right
yes.
over. I mean, they would look
We're
like they were going to fly into the building, man.
just waiting for a plane to come into the bathroom. Came in through the bathroom window.
I,
Yeah.
I
So
was up
no,
there a couple of times, and
yeah.
yeah.
No, it's weird, San Jose. I guess it's a little better now that they have, there's Santana Row and there's more stuff. But I was in Sunnyvale the other day, and
Hmm.
there's no real sense of Santa Clara, Sunnyvale Mountain.
No, not anymore. Not
They're
anymore.
all the same. They're all the same.
Yeah.
280.
No, that's urbanization, man. Urban spread, right?
Yeah.
Mountain View. Mountain View was like really nice. You
Well,
know.
where there's Moffett Field, there's
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
and it was there, and then, but now it's all just sort of one thing, and I don't know. It really is suburban San Francisco. Well, it's not San Francisco, but it's 50 miles
It,
south,
it, it really
and
is suburban San Jose. It really is suburban San Jose.
yeah,
But-
and no one wants to say San Jose because it's cooler to say San Francisco.
yeah.
So
I like San Ho, and I got very fond memories. But the problem is, they're memories of how it was when there was still a lot of agriculture.
oh yeah, oh
On
yeah,
both sides of 101 and both sides of 37 and
yeah.
all that.
Alviso, my friend,
Alviso is still
Alviso.
there, and it's a little more distant.
Yeah.
But the neat thing is, what's the name of that electronics company that's got a warehouse out there?
But I don't
I
know.
Some of my devices right here are from that company. But anyway, starts with an L. Anyway,
Oh,
we got to sign off, man. We've been on too
yeah.
long here.
Okay. All right. So Dan, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
All right. Well, I think I think the Hawks.
I would like to see the Pats win only because I don't like the Seahawks. They're
Well,
good. They're a good team, but I think the Pats can win. But if they can't, if people make too many mistakes, it'll be a blowout. I think
it
like
all
like the
depends.
49er blowout.
Yeah, it all depends on whether or not the Pats can stop Sam Darnold. I
Yeah.
think they can stop Walter. I think they can stop the run, but I
Yeah.
don't know if they can stop Sam Darnold. And he's got a lot of receivers,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
just like the Niners do. But what they have is a great defense. I
Yeah.
mean, really, really good.
All right, so we'll leave it at that. You pick the Hawks. I get the Pats. We'll see next
It's
week.
cool. It's cool. Well, Pablo Torre has been picking the Pats since the beginning of the freaking season, dude.
Oh
He was
well,
always rating the Pats at number one, you know,
yeah,
and
and,
people made fun of him, and the
yeah.
dude was right all the way down the line, you know.
Well, they were good. Look, I like Pablo. I like Pablo. I like the Pats. I was talking to
Hey,
my friend.
he represents us well. He doesn't, you know, he
Yeah,
doesn't play up his Filipino-ness or anything like that.
yeah,
But all of the journalists, right, especially the Asian American journalists, who know who everybody else is,
yeah.
right? They really like Pablo because he's so good at what he does.
Oh,
He does philosophy. He
yes.
does philosophy so well.
All right. Listen, Dan. We'll see you again tomorrow if you want the avocados.
We
All right.
will. We
All
will
right.
come for the smooth
Yeah.
avocado.
Come for the come. Yeah. Come for the show. Stay for the avocados. Okay. All
Right.
right. All right, Dan. Take care.
Oh,
We'll see you tomorrow.
wait.
Oh, what?
Is Cat coming to town? Is Kathy
Yes.
coming?
Yes. Yes.
All
Of
right,
course.
cool.
Yeah. All
Well, that's
right. There we
another
go.
reason. All right,
There you
man.
go. All
See
right.
ya.
There you go. Daniel Phil Gonzalez, my friend. College of Ethnic Studies, Asian American Studies, San Francisco State University, Professor Emeritus, Asian American Studies. He always comes on, and we talk, and and he's talking about Emil Amok 69. It's the show that I do tomorrow, 2:30 p.m., February 7th, 69 Emil Amok. It's at playground-sf.org/solofest. Go there for tickets. You can get your ticket. Tickets are free. They're free. Yeah. And then later you can donate by, going to Venmo. Just giving me a donation at Emil-Guillermo at Venmo and say, hey, yeah, we liked it. Here, have some money. Or put it in the hat, whatever you want. Emil-Guillermo, Venmo, or but go there, get your ticket, sign up. You can even just sign up and just say, hey, I heard it was free. You gotta let me in. And you want to donate money, you can donate money to me there on the Venmo thing, right? And then if you're not in San Francisco, say you're in New York or Texas or Hawaii or Canada or wherever, Mexico, Philippines, Hawaii, you can go to playground.sf/solofest or playground-sf.org there, right? And you can get a ticket to stream, and the streaming ticket's good for three days. You don't have to see it live, but you can see it. So please come. Please see the show, Emil Amok 69 Emil Amok. It's a show of our times. It's about our lives, how I deal with it, how I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you deal with this thing. Is it Trump derangement syndrome? Oh, he's deranged, or you're deranged, or I'm deranged. Or everyone's deranged in this play. 2:30 tomorrow. Last time, February 7th. And then I come back in March and I do a whole just comedy thing. Just comedy. No serious stuff. This is more serious. Some comedy. Anyway, Emil Amok, 69. All right. So, go Pats. I don't know. Go February 7th. My dad's birthday, February 8th. So, tomorrow I'll have a special mention about my dad. So, it'll be a special show. 2:30. All right. That's it. We'd like to end with a little loving kindness meditation. Because, yeah, we got to. So, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time, Mahal Kita.